Hand clap to the master, guys. You're finally back again for another one of the one and only Mystelics reaction, guys. Actually was doing the reaction right there, guys, but for some reason the video kept cutting out, so I myself don't know if the video recorded or not, so I started back the whole thing over, guys. Of course, welcome to all the Mystelics YouTube family out and large all over the place right there. Big up yourself one time by giving this video a thumbs up if you are a part of the Mystelics family. If you're not, then definitely become a Mystelics family by clicking the post notification bell, clicking the subscribe button, the bell, and then clicking all so you can get all or be notified when I drop videos right there and then. So big up all the Mystelics YouTube family, and of course the newcomers are there. I appreciate you guys for definitely tuning in to this here reaction video. Now guys, we're gonna be talking about a number of things that I actually saw. Hopefully I get to do a second video after this one right there. Yes, I should be able to. But the internet here is kind of slowish, man. But anyways, hopefully I get to do a second video right there, guys. The previous reaction will be in the first comment in the comment box below, guys, and of course the Mystelics YouTube app will be in the first comment in the comment box below, guys. Definitely download that on your phone so you can pretty much get a plethora of different things on the Mystelics YouTube app. Not YouTube app, well, pretty much the YouTube channel app right there. Download that Mystelics Tube app on the Google Play Store. Get that vibrations right there. Now guys, we're gonna be talking about something we saw in this thing, and of course I'm gonna be showing you this relevance video. I think this is a housing situation that they want to be setting up, and of course let me take out the audio a bit, guys, so they wouldn't want to copyright me, man. I don't know if it's copyrighted music, you know, sometimes we're using music, we just use music just for music's sake. But this is kind of like the 3D version of the setup that they're trying to do, and it looks nice, no doubt about it. I like it. Hopefully birds will be flying because there's enough oxygen flowing in the trees. We don't forget the trees, you know, it's not concrete jungle. It's relevant to have trees, and it's a nice setup. By the way, guys, I don't know what audio that playing there, but that is definitely not from my speakers, eh? Not my speakers are making them kind of shish song there, just in case if you're hearing it. You wrote a porthole, man. What is that now? You wrote a porthole, man. What is this? How they can make the report hole? Oh, what are that? Hey, this is my first time seeing this, eh? But the buildings look nice, though. I like to see that. The buildings look pretty nice right there. A nice little vibe, man. No doubt about it. I like to see that. Like I said before, my problem is not in the buildings, guys. It is in the cost of the buildings within the economy that Dominica is definitely in. So, just in case you guys get this, but where's the drainage? Where's the drainage, though? Where's the drainage system? Will there be like little holes inside there, like how New York has them? When the rain falls, it goes and sips in and goes somewhere. And maybe if you can collect the water, you can create turbines. You know what I mean? And the roof seems to be flat. Maybe they should all have a solar device on top of them. What do you think, guys? I mean, to help the cost of electricity, and if they use Tesla walls, they can be able to supply the solar banks on top. They will be able to provide electricity for the whole house if it charges up properly for like 2, 3, 4, 5 days. You know, the Tesla walls are very powerful. And then of course the excess can go back to Dominica, and then they give other peoples. I think that's how it should be, eh? But them neighbors there, if you have to bring a little chick down, somebody might be peeping in them curtains there. Peepers, can you imagine, boy? Maybe the design and how it will actually be is different, because that to me is very close here. But they're making it like a block format, man. It'll have address, man. This will be the Mystelics Street. This will be the YouTube Avenue. So you have your mix up this and that. Get your PO box. Well, PO box. Get your box there. Your mailbox. Everybody had a mailbox. This is what I'm talking about. Put the solar devices on top there, big enough to charge the Tesla wall, and of course you have something going for you. Ideas I giving all, you know, free ideas, so you don't pay me for that. But I definitely like the vibe, man. I definitely like the vibe. But if you might bring somebody there, somebody might be watching from there and peeping. You know, we are peepers, man. Plenty peepers. Wait a while. Hey, Dominica burning out dinner, boy. What is that? They got drugs out there. What is that, boy? Basketball court, yes, definitely. Maybe a tennis court as well would be nice as well. You know, get people more involved, you know. It's a nice vibe, nice vibe. Will there be like what do you call that again? Stop signs. Will there be street lights? No boy, put the street lights in. So like I tell you guys, I have no problem with this thing. It's just that being able to pay for this thing, and they calling this generational wealth, and the expense that you have to pay for these kind of things there is might not be generational wealth, not generational debt. That is my whole problem right there. So people like to come and say, oh, Mr. Lex, I for it. They should build it. My problem is that these things might be too expensive living within the economy that we are living in to be able to pay back these things. You're trying to pay this your entire life. $350,000, and then boom, more people have to, you pass it on to your little ones, and your little ones have to end up taking the debt. Not generational debt, that the generational thing, and of course the house will have to be fixed up from time to time. You know, that's more money you have to put on the house that has been there for a number of years, brothers and sisters. So as the house is thing, it depreciates. The value of it might increase in terms of, but you still have to pay the house, brothers and sisters. It's not just saying, well, I can sell over the house and what have you. Anyways, guys, we're moving along to these vibrations right there. Okay, let's go back. Budget debate. So this is why we're really here today, guys, on this thing.
Come back to live coverage of Budget Day in Dominica. The parade of uniformed troops has just...
Who that screaming in the background there?
Budget Day in Dominica. The parade of uniformed troops.
What did you do there?
Budget Day in Dominica. The parade of uniformed troops.
You have to, whoever, you have to scream like that? Huh? As a human being, you have to be screaming like that now? No, boy. No, boy.
Budget Day in Dominica. The parade of uniformed troops has just arrived at the park.
Oh, probably is the military person or whoever, well, not military person, the band marching person, band master, that probably doing that screaming there. Or you don't have to scream like that. No, Papa, I mean, come on. Anyways, that's not why we're here.
And you can hear in the background the various commanders of the parade giving...
Wait, if you don't have a mic and she has a mic, oh, you have a clip on, okay.
Directives to the troops on parade here so they can be in uniform.
Anyway.
Let's get right into the discussion. What does the youth want?
What does the youth want? Jobs. They want jobs.
In the 2022 national budget.
Jobs.
A very odd question because, you know, the youth demographic in Dominica is quite diverse. We have youth ranging between 18 to 35 years. And obviously the needs of that of youth between 18 to 24 are far diverse from youth between 31 to 35.
So the youth... My bad, guys. So you're telling me that the youth from 18 to 24 have a different need than the youth from 25 to 35? I think they both want jobs, though. Don't you think? I think that they would want jobs.
But the National Youth Council actually embarked on a budget street talk in the past week, and we collected insights from young persons across all pockets of the island. And most of the information gathered was pointing to job creation. A lot of
I mean, we live in an economy that doesn't produce jobs for the youth. It's not producing much jobs for the youth. And if the youth do get jobs, the kind of salaries that they're getting is not conducive to create generational wealth. I mean, the very buildings that we watched, they told us that it's going to create generational wealth, even though you have to pay for it, which is debt. Debt is not creating generational wealth unless, and this is, let me give you a clue, unless you are using somebody else's money instead of your money. That's how generational wealth is created. But that's all I'm going to say right there. But let's continue right there.
Youth are, you know, asking for jobs to be created. And again, we have return students as well. So a lot of them have indicated that they would like to see great opportunities created as it relates to jobs being...
Obviously. So all, both 18 to 24 and 25 to 35, all want jobs. That's not too diverse, so to speak. It's not too diverse. I think that is the main thing that will actually help the economy or help the youth grow.
Created for them. From the NYC's perspective, we actually participated in the pre-budget consultation that happened last month. And all findings are somewhat demarcated within 3 priority areas. 1, educational reform.
That's true. How are we able to compete with the rest of the world based off the educational level that we are given? Yes, we might be doing well in Dominica, especially when people go overseas. Yes, there's an understanding right there. But in terms of actually utilizing the modernizing equipment, so to speak, or utilizing modern educational platforms or the way that we do things. For example, you know, back in the day, you used to go to school for you to try to become a doctor and this kind of things there. And they're pretty much pushing that. But if you look at the whole sphere of the whole job market when it comes down to the modernization of time, being a doctor and being a nurse and these kind of things are one of the lowest kind of salaries you can actually be getting. Imagine that. Because understand me, especially in the business world, takes a different approach when you're an entrepreneur for you to do certain things, and then your money grows much faster in this regard. Also in Dominica, sometimes when you leave the school, you leave the school not on the basis of what you get, you know, not on the educational level or what degree you get in education, you know, the basis. Because I remember I went to do an interview with a bank and I did business administration, and all the other folks did accounting, and I applied for the accounting job and I got the accounting job. The other accountants who majored in accounting didn't get it, but I got it as a result of the individuals thinking that based on what they asked me, I knew what I'm very good at numbers. That's the thing. I'm very, very, very good in numbers. I'm not saying I'm excellent, you know, I 100% thing, I make mistakes and everything, but the general scope, I'm very good in numbers. But I got ahead of them because of the things that they were asking me, and I was replying them, and they liked the answers and everything like that. So it's not just saying that you go to school and get this, because most people, when they leave school, they don't get the jobs that they got the degrees in. They get the jobs that they can actually find. They get the jobs that they can actually find. And one of the things that the government did is actually try to improve the NEP. When you get a job, I see young people working on the road and stuff, you know, beautifying the place, that's what they call it. And I'm sure that they didn't go to school for them to go and work on the road to cut grass. I'm sure that's not the case. But Dominica's limited job markets is what telling people what needs to be done. They need jobs. Not just jobs, they need a plethora of jobs. When they have a plethora of jobs, then people can actually get the education that they need and can utilize that in the right jobs that they got the degrees for. That's one of the things the United States, you know, but the United States is kind of shifting away from that as well, not just necessarily focusing on what you get in school, but your ability to perform that skill. Because there are a lot of book smart people versus street smart people, and street smart people who don't necessarily education or the book smarts that the other folks have, they are able to do jobs much better and more efficient than book smart people. So it's also modernizing. It's not just going to school and say, oh, I need this and that, but you also need to have a better, a wider range, not just of academics, but of course of utilizing your skills as well. But anyways, let's continue.
And the thing is, with that particular priority area, it speaks to the relevance of what is being taught in the high schools, what is being taught at college. Because as a lecturer myself, many employers report to us and say that they don't think that students are coming to the jobs ready.
And they come at school, but they leave in the school not prepared for the job market, which means that the school are failing. It's not magic, you know, it's out there.
Work. And so it's necessary to actually go back to review whether what is being taught is actually relevant.
True.
Secondly, another key priority area that the National Youth Council identified was building or developing an entrepreneurial ecosystem. And so many persons come and talk about, you know, they want to see lower taxes or they want to see more technical support provided to entrepreneurs. But with that ecosystem, we're looking at so many different parts playing a role in how successful entrepreneurs would be.
The success of entrepreneurs is not based on what the entrepreneurs themselves can do, you know, but within the market and the market type that they are in. Yes, you can have all the skill set that you want, but if you don't have a market for it, all the skills that they have will go it'll go down the drain. It'll go down the drain. It's just like you have a set of musicians in Dominica. Only musicians, when they leave Dominica, elevate themselves. I mean, look at Suki. Want to pretend like Suki didn't have the time. I heard his voice, he can actually sing. But he only got relevance when he left. He got relevance when he left, and people picked him up and started doing so. He became more popular. Now I see Suki in all kind of flyer now. Because people requesting him to come and sing. Although some of his songs kind of insane, but you know, at least he's staying away from you know, the substance abuse. So all that is anyways, let's continue.
And so from the entrepreneurial perspective, we're looking at, supply side policies. How can capacity building be somewhat incorporated for them?
But I don't think that would make sense, because you provide in the bill. Let's think of it that way. You provide in the building for people to live in, so to speak. But there's no shops around. There's nothing to actually help them. There's not much people that can participate in that. So you need the population to elevate as well. You need the economy to start doing good. You need the spending power as well. So it's not just saying, oh, let's create entrepreneurship and whatnot. You have a set of entrepreneurs who try things, and I know they have tried things in Dominica, and it hasn't worked out for them. Why? Because the spending power is in there. 1, 2, the population supply is not there because the population is dwindling. So when you have a dwindling population plus less spending power, what do you think is going to happen to the entrepreneurs? You can have all kind of ideas. Oh, let's have nice entrepreneurship. If you do not have the supply for people to buy what you're selling, whether it is service or products, you will flop. And it's all based on the economy, and the economy must be conducive for jobs. When you have jobs, what's going to happen? People have more money to then participate in entrepreneurial activities or what the services that they provide, and be able to pay them adequately enough. Because, for example, when I started doing videography in Dominica, I was getting paid like $250, $300 to do some stuff, right? I go to the United States and just editing alone. Sometimes just watching a video and just chop it. I still get paid $500 just to chop video, put them together because they don't want that part, chop it, put that together and just boom. In about 10-15 minutes, when you watch the video and the sequence of numbers that they give you, you're getting paid $500. That's about $1,200. While man making set of video. Anyways, let me continue. You get the point.
We, for example, met with a young entrepreneur from Marigot on our journey last week, and he indicated that he got a lot of support, financial support from the government.
Financial support is good, but it is not conducive to the economy or the population or the spending power. I'm sure it's something like that you're gonna see.
However, he felt that it was necessary to somewhat follow up, because sometimes, although they actually have the funding, they may not necessarily have the capacity to use that support. Exactly, to use that funding.
Technical support is not necessary. Are you looking at the individual, or are you supposed to look at the place where the individual is?
Effectively.
Technical support, sure. Maybe the person is doing it right, and maybe need some additional help. But it's not just that, guys. It's looking at the place that you're in as well.
So we think that it's necessary to ensure that even though the financial I should say support is provided, there should be some kind of technical support that is also
I agree.
provided. Now, within the entrepreneurial environment itself, it is necessary to ensure that persons can actually survive within the environment. So,
no, you're talking my language. No, you're talking my language.
The production.
I want to see what she's going to say as a result of surviving in the environment.
To ensure that persons can actually survive within the environment. So cost of production is very high for them. So
that's true. She even mentioned a point I didn't put. Yes, you want to help entrepreneurs to elevate, yet still you have them paying how much expensive stuff for them to try to start a business. No duty free or nothing. Very limited. I mean, come on. Yet still when the foreigners come in, they bring in their stuff duty free. Really? And then you're saying you care about the local people when the foreigners come in to do business, sometimes even the same type of business that the locals can do, because they don't have the capital to do it. To pay for the expensive duty fees. They will not be able to do it, yet still you're giving the foreigners duty free. Says investors you're looking for to come and invest. I mean, it's logic, eh?
In this budget, it would be ideal to recognize any opportunities that youth may be provided with that may lower the production costs.
One such opportunity might be the geothermal development project.
Indeed. Actually, this is one of our...
What? So people who don't want to work in geothermal project, I mean, how we mentioned geothermal project there in entrepreneurship? Maybe I miss it. Maybe it's me that miss it. No, I don't miss it. No, it wasn't there at all. She's talking about entrepreneurship and you just bring in geothermal project. I suspect he had that agenda on his mind for him to just spit it out there. But let me see what she has to say.
For National Youth Parliament topics, and we are strong proponents of investment in renewable energy. It's also wise to ensure
that have nothing to do with entrepreneurship. That's another topic. The geothermal is a government project sponsored by the government.
renewable energy. Yes, we have made a lot of strides with
Mr. Just, he don't even do it properly. Now that have make me vex there, you know, guys. He don't even segue properly. He don't even segue. He's saying like the geothermal project, like that have anything to do with entrepreneurship.
geothermal, but there are also many other forms that would prove very beneficial to us in Dominica as well. The third
Solar device, solar, hydro. I think hydro is one of the best things that we can have, and wind. Put a set of wind. But anyways, I say no. Yeah.
priority area we identified was mental health, and we are seeing the cost
How they segueing into that there? How are you doing that there, boy? Are you not properly segueing nothing now? Oh, God have mercy.
of mental health on many of our young persons.
But what she's saying is right. Mental health is a key component. The big question, like I asked before, is what has the government done? Will they be putting that in the budget to help individuals, to put things or programs in place to help people mentally, and not just mentally, but the emotions as well? But I guess emotions can affect the mental as well. That is also part of a unity thing in the body. But what are they putting things in place to help? Are they putting on the budget? Lennox mentioned that yesterday, well, based on my video yesterday, on my video, the previous reaction, which you can check out in the first comment in the comment box below as well.
In Dominica, and as well as society. Just walking through the streets, we see there are many young persons who need that help, right? In addition to that, we walk through many communities, and there are many young persons who, you know, with perhaps proper guidance, perhaps that rehabilitation that may be necessary through a rehabilitation center, they may be able to get back on their feet.
Are young people?
But I understand. Okay, let's say there's a rehabilitation center. Now, guys, this is where I like. This is one of the reasons why they need people like me to come and ask individuals this kind of questions. Yes, you have a rehabilitation center. The person is rehabilitated. What then when the person goes back out in the street? What will prevent them from going back into what caused them to have this mental breakdown? Like drugs and this kind of things. What will prevent them from going back in there? Are there programs out there to help them? Are there different things out there to actually prevent them from going to do those things? This is one of the reasons why we even mentioned Suki, where the guy on the radio was speaking about they put him in a rehabilitation center, I'm guessing in Guadeloupe somewhere, for 5 days, and of course they helped him and they didn't give him anything to drink and what have you. It's a community effort, true. But if you're putting these people in rehabilitation effort centers, let's say they put that in the budget, then they go out in the streets and there's nothing for them to do. What do you think is going to happen? It still boils back down to job creation, where people can have a feel of a sense of not just surviving, but living a sense of living.
Taking advantage of the opportunities provided by government.
Interestingly enough, I feel they are not. But I think the problem that may exist is information failure.
I agree, because you're talking about things that provided by government, and I myself don't know what you're talking about. So that means there's a failure on the government part for putting this information out there. I myself want to find out what they are.
And this is not something just for young people, everyone.
True.
There are a lot of initiatives that are available.
Who is pushing it out there? We're pushing housing for people to come and buy a house at subsidized prices. We're pushing these things out there. Don't you think that it'll be good if they were pushing these other things that can really help people? The programs and maybe grants offered by the government. Don't you think? Because I don't know. I remember one time they were talking about some loan thing for 2% and this kind of thing there in 8 Bank, where people were having a lot of problem because you have to go and bring your grandmother birth certificate or grandmother land or something like that, and how long it taken. And even the Prime Minister one time, I remember, I saw it myself, was saying that the 8 Bank need to lessen on the restrictions that they have to allow people to get these loans, because they find it extremely difficult for people to go and get these loans. So I mean, come on. So there might be opportunities, maybe the loan subsidized by government and what have you. We don't know much about that. But to actually get it is another story. And then is there victimization as a result of this? That's another question right there.
However, as it relates to getting that information, it's extremely difficult because,
true.
For example, I have friends who are building for the first time, right? And I know that the Future Housing Program, I'm part of the advisory group, the Future Housing Program is being implemented to support, to provide that opportunity for first-time homeowners. But prior to that, there was also a $10,000 grant.
Under 40, yes.
People don't know about that.
Under 40. I myself, you know about that, guys? Did you guys know about this? Because I didn't know about that at all. Why doesn't the government put this information out there, blast it constantly like they're trying to blast the housing stuff? Why? That's a good question to ask. Why aren't they doing that? Putting the information out there so people can take advantage of it.
There are few people who know about it, but many persons don't know. I think the government needs to make, I would say, better strides. They need to make better strides.
They need to utilize us to push this information out there. And not just say thank you for pushing. No. They need to utilize us to push it out there because we actually reach the congregation of people. Anything I put out there reaches people. Anything. I can put a flight crash in 1 mile. It must reach people. It must. And not just me, there are a number of others as well. A few people on Instagram and a few people on TikTok as well who are Dominicans. There are a few people, others, people on Facebook. You know, put this information out there. It must reach the masses. So utilize people who actually reach in the population.
In ensuring that information is disseminated effectively across the entire country, right? Because some people may know about it, but everyone may not necessarily have it.
But how do they know how to send it out or who to send it out to? That's the big question. Because if you're looking at the young people, you need to get info. You know, putting it on the radio. Young people don't listen to radio. You put it on the internet. You put it on social media. You put it on things that people watch. You put it out there so the information goes out there. Guys, every time I market for individuals, well, especially on my US channel, every time we selling out, you know, we just sell. Well, I don't think I can promote on Dominica stuff on my US channel because that's another thing. But you get the point. Even on my Dominican channel when there's World Creole Music Festival and those kind of things there. World Creole Music, even on my Dominican channel where there's stuff like World Creole Music Festival and I advertise stuff for different companies and stuff on that channel. It goes out there. The companies are happy. So the information definitely goes out there. So you just have to know who to utilize. I'm not saying me. I'm not. Yes, sure. If you need my help, sure, no problem. But there are other people as well out there who doing this. They do this. You see me?
And what role can the youth council play in ensuring that this information gets to your demographics?
Good. Nice segue. That was a nice one.
So for us, what we always try to do from the DYBT, from the YDD, we try to ensure that we share the information with our digital networks. So we recognize that...
Well, apparently your digital network doesn't go that far. If much people don't know, you just admitted that. Your digital network doesn't go as far. So you need to go outside of your digital network.
Best way to meet you is digitally, because that's where they are.
Media.
Exactly. That is where they are, right? They're not going to be listening to DBS. They're perhaps not going to be listening to the radio. They're not going to be watching the news. But you will more find them perhaps tuned in on this live. Or you will find them tuned in on TikTok or other social media platforms. And so the NYC is engaged in trying to ensure that we can actually capitalize on these platforms that can bring across the information.
Guys, I was just interrupted there. And then every time they interrupted me. But yo, let's go again.
In trying to ensure that we can actually capitalize on these platforms that can bring across the information to youth in a way that they identify with.
Yeah, utilize the creators of these platforms. The TikTok creators who have a nice following, the YouTube creators who have a nice following, the Facebook creators who have a nice following, the Instagram creators who have a nice following, because you're trying to get to the youth. My demographic range from 18 to 65, you know. My demographic, majority of my demographic comes from 35 higher. Then the second one is 18 to 25. And it's high. It's so all across the board. I'm just utilizing my analytics to pretty much say that there are different ways you can find out who has the right analytics for the people you're trying to reach. But anyways, let's continue.
So, for example, when we came into the NYC, we created a digital space and via WhatsApp, where we are connected with many different young persons who are involved in youth organizations. But we also recognize that youth who are doing positive things are not exclusively involved in youth organizations, right? And so what we try to do is we send that information via our digital platforms to ensure that they know what's going on.
You guys, if you want to do this on your own, you must utilize Facebook. And then pay for Facebook ads and look at the demographic. Put in the demographic, you can also do that as well. But the thing is, people don't normally click on Facebook ads unless it's something that actually pertains to them. But I'm sure if people are seeing ads on Dominica who are relating to Dominica as young people, they will most likely check it out. Hey, look at Dominica ad on there. That's possible. The same thing on Instagram. I saw some videos or some ads of Dominica on Instagram as well. I was like, yo, what is this? You know, click it and see what's up. I saw I didn't participate in there, but you end up losing your money. But anyways, let's continue.
There are many other platforms that we can obviously use, but at the same time, as a growing institution and as a new
Okay, we're growing, so we give you guys excuse.
executive, we want to ensure that we take things one step at a time.
You mentioned digital a lot.
Yes.
There is the Ministry of the Digital Economy, which is mainly geared at youth. You have a young minister, you have a coordinator, you have a department. We have seen training in, for example, online working.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Thank God. I was like, what is he talking about, man? But I've heard of that one. I know some people that participated in the online learning, how you can find jobs online, which I think is a good thing. Most people who find jobs online, I pretty much work online, where I work with different companies who send me videos and stuff for me to edit, as well as YouTube, and so forth and so forth. So things can work out online. You just have to find the right platform or know the right set of people or the right connect to make things happen for you.
Training for people to work online. How can the youth play its part in developing the digital economy?
The youth can't do nothing, bro. It's you guys that have to do something about it. The youth have to then take it and run with it. You guys teach the youth, they train the youth, and then run with it. I don't think that question is, maybe it's just me.
The youth definitely has a very critical role in the...
You saying, I like the... You see, I just asked the question, what is the relevance? So how can she answer that? Look at how she paused when when he asked the question. I follow these things, guys. Watch that.
How can the youth play its part in developing the digital economy?
You see? Because that question is not a question you should ask. It's the youth that are receiving to then do with is how the elderly older folks can then put things, or people in positions, the ministers, government can put things in place for the youth. And then when you put things in place for the youth, then the youth or council or whoever will then use these materials that you've given them and then push forward with it. Or on the other hand, the youth can then have certain panels and this kind of things and let their voices be heard, and you guys then take what the youth is saying, put things in place to adhere to what the youth is saying, see the pros and cons of it, and then push it, but it still relies on you. This is why she paused there. It's very,
Can the youth play its part in developing the digital economy?
The youth definitely has a very critical role in the development of digital economy.
Because she cannot answer. It's just re-saying what he's saying to formulate an answer in her mind that would possibly make sense on the question question he asked. But that's a horrible question to ask.
I mean, as a young person myself, I can tell you when I walk around in the streets of Roseau, I don't walk around with cash. I walk around with my cards, and I would really like to just place it onto the machine and swipe or tap.
Ashma, big up to you for giving an answer, but that is not what the man asked you. That's how can the youth, what can they do? You're saying what you have as a result of what is being done to you. That's the same thing I mentioned a while ago. They put the mechanisms in place for you to be able to use the card that you're talking about. So maybe I go too early. Let me just listen to what she's saying.
Within the digital economy, I know that there are many jobs that are being made available for young persons, right?
It's still not what the youth can do. You see what I'm saying, guys? Because he asked a horrible question right there.
Work from home, work online program. But outside of that, we find that right now there are a lot of entrepreneurs, and in such a global environment, this is the role I believe young persons can play.
I agree. This is why the education system is so important. She's not answering what he asked, but what she's saying makes sense. Utilizing the understanding the global market and preparing the individuals to actually utilize or be a part of the global market online, because things are going online, guys. Never in the history of my life will I be able to do the things that I'm doing now if I was working a normal 9 to 5. Never. But let me not say never. I'm a very creative person, so I can do all kind of things. Anything I put my mind to, I think. But normal people will not be able to think without the global market. A lot of people are going as a result of not being able to understand that things are online for them to utilize. One of my friends was doing transcripts. She used to write, listen, and transcribe and all those kind of things there. I even used to give her different mechanisms, different things she can actually connect this speaker to whatever and let it once you're reading it, it'll pick it up, and all she has to do is go over, so it'll be much faster for her, making her more effective in the job. And of course, when she presents the transcript for the individuals, they'll give her more work and thus creating more money, not realizing that she's using technology to do the transcripts, and she's just going over everything to make sure that everything is fine.
They get into entrepreneurship and they explore the markets outside of just Dominica.
True,
right?
Which Dominica doesn't have much. So of course, going outside is a good idea. Especially if you can't leave Dominica, but going online is a good idea. This is one of the reasons why I tell people go on YouTube. Guys, YouTube has revolutionized a lot of our lives, you know. It's especially in the Caribbean. Literally revolutionized. Because even some of my YouTubers, I used to tell them organize whatnot, and they themselves doing well. Some of the things that I remember, one of my first YouTubers, he do himself. He used to do technology, teaching people how to unlock stuff and those kind of things there. The boy literally went on his vacation on his YouTube, the income he earned on his YouTube. And I was like, in 1 month, he never believed. All the time I tell him about it, he never believed, and he does rock it, and he part of the YouTube platform now. So we know what we're talking about. YouTube does definitely help.
So, but we need that.
Not just YouTube, there's other platforms as well, Instagram, where people can actually brand. Like one of my channels on YouTube, brands send me stuff. I haven't showcased on my WhatsApp a small little kind of nano projector and stuff, and I was watching movies on it. I just had to do a reaction on that, and they pay me for it. I get a free product, and seeing sometimes they just give you the product and you get to keep the product. They don't necessarily pay you for it, but they give you the product whether you want to react to it or not. But because you're a creator, they put things out there. A number of persons in Dominica who are going to places like Guadeloupe, they pay them to wear their clothes and all those kind of things there. And that is a relevance of being on Instagram or TikTok and these kind of places. You get to advertise for shoes and these kind of things there. They wanted me to advertise. I'm part of a group that they wanted me to advertise watches, but I'm not in the United States now. So I could have got the watches and all kind of things, and advertisers have that on my hand. Boom, and I getting paid for it. Simple. Just like you can just have a shirt on you, and you just put the shirt on the company shirt on you. Boom, make sure the logo there, and boom, you're getting paid. Hundreds and even thousands of dollars just for wearing things. I remember, you remember Vine? Vine, guys, some people could just present. People could just, let me turn it around. People could just, well, anyways, people could just present a product. Boom, just like that. Guys, I'm drinking this for 6 seconds and getting 10,000, 15,000. I have friends I used to get about $23,000 for 6 seconds on Vine. 6 seconds, $23,000 for 6 seconds. Global market is vital, guys. Anyways, let's continue.
Environment that allows them to be able to, one, sell their products online, right? And
well, that's one thing, but that's on one thing. Yeah, sure.
As well to be able to reach to a market that's much wider than perhaps even the region,
Dominica.
the Caribbean region.
You said that, but yeah, we get your point.
Exactly, and that's what it is. So I think the role of the youth in regards to that is really capitalizing and trying to see how we can build somewhat of a system that will allow entrepreneurs to be able to...
I like the way she answered. It's technical how she answers, because she's answering not based on what is asked, but she's utilizing what is asked to then just push her own point. So how can the youth help? She's just saying just utilizing what is being given, the opportunities given as a result. So I mean, yeah, I mean the question wasn't making sense, but kudos to her. Guys, give this video a thumbs up for the answer. Brilliant, brilliant. I love it.
To find markets for their products outside of Dominica. I mean, many persons to hint to the fact that the local market in itself is small.
True,
and
very.
So it's an opportunity there to
go
sell.
outside.
For example, JD's Natural. JD's Natural is an international product. We have persons using it.
I think I've heard that. I think she's a YouTuber too. So if she has a product selling as well, that is also a good thing. So big up to her.
All across the world. However, I believe an opportunity exists for young entrepreneurs like herself and others to find opportunities to create somewhat of a digital space. I mean, Shop DM already exists, and it provides an opportunity for people to...
Shop DM came from my cousin. Well, not necessarily Shop DM, but previously during, I think it was Erica, before Ross left, my cousin actually set up something known as Shop 767. For those of you who know, when I was advertising that for him, and he was out there and people used to buy products online right in the United States and then have these products being delivered to individuals wherever they are for their families. So families could literally go on shop767.com and go out there, shop in any of the stores online or on shop767 and have these products delivered to their family members. So that's one of the things that thing. And then afterwards I heard them, you know. So the founder of that whole thing right there, guys, is definitely my cousin. Correct me if I'm wrong. Tell me I lie. Anyone of you tell me I lie. Because there was none of that happening in Dominica.
To buy online, but in Dominica, outside of Dominica, not as successful, and I would like for that to perhaps be expanded. So that's one opportunity in my own perspective.
We don't have much time.
But I think one of the problems with having a shop online where if you're trying to sell out stuff, like let's say you have a hair business and you want to sell to Antigua, you want to send hair to send kits or somewhere. One of the problems that Dominica has is the exporting, the price that you have to pay to export these products. And sometimes it is very expensive. Sometimes it's even more than the actual product itself to export these things outside there. So then if a hair is like what, $50, I just give an example. If a hair is $50 and you have to, and you're telling the customer that they have to pay $60 for them to ship it, the customer will be like, what's going on? It's $50. Why do I have to pay $110 for me to ship? That don't make any sense. So they will end up losing business. So I think that is an aspect that they need to look into as well. The shipping costs. Because I know sometimes to ship things, especially if you ship, maybe they can have PO box or somewhere and pick up. Well, then again, it's traffic. Is the traffic that is needed right there.
Currently, before you talk to us about the future
Yes.
I think this will be a major part of this year's budget.
Indeed.
Future housing.
The Future Housing program is basically empowering young persons, well, I would say young persons, young professionals through ownership, right? And generational wealth is like a new word. It's like the resilience. It's like toxic.
How does it create generational wealth? That's what I want to know. Jobs create generational wealth. How can you get a house and think that the house is going to create generational wealth for you now? That doesn't create generational wealth at all. It's just something you guys using because it sounds nice.
All of these words that young people know these days. Generational wealth is a key ideal that many persons want to ensure that they can actually achieve. The Future Housing...
How does it create generational wealth? That's what I want to know. Maybe it's me that ignorant to the fact of how getting a house creates generational wealth. Getting a house doesn't create generational wealth. It is good to have a house, yes. A house that you can potentially pass on to your family, yes. But how does it create generational wealth, especially if you are not able to pay it off within the economy that you are living in, that is not conducive for you to be able to have much in the first place, to pay off loans in the first place, and for how long? 30, 40 years if you die, then how does it create generational wealth? That is my question right there, because I don't know. Generational wealth, from my understanding, has a lot to do with the financial aspect of businesses that are created. That is how you creating generational wealth. Generational wealth meaning wealth that is passed on from you to your family and to your next family, to your generational line. Getting a house is not generational wealth.
The program provides opportunities for first-time homeowners to obviously access housing. And we did a site visit. Obviously, the views in Warner are extremely beautiful, and the government has somewhat promised to ensure that there is subsidization of the land, and so that would obviously make
the land, not the house,
properties much more affordable.
So you're subsidizing the land, not the house.
That's a key aspect of
that is something else, that even worse. Because the houses will be expensive for you to buy. So maybe you subsidize the land, get half on the land or whatever. Maybe if commercial, say you have to pay $50,000 for the land, and the house might cost $250,000, $300,000. How does that create generational wealth? Guys, help me out in the comment box below, because I don't know.
This Future Housing program, the affordability aspect, because for many persons,
because she just said a while ago about jobs. The young people want jobs. How then are they going to be paying house back? Even if the houses are subsidized and the youth don't have jobs, how on earth will they be paying back the house, the loans for the house, for them to be able to own it? I mean, it's not, It's simple maths. It's not a hard thing, it's simple maths.
Realization of owning a home before 40 is quite impossible, especially now. I mean, we have an era of many feminists, many persons, many women are single through their 40s, and it's quite difficult.
But that's not a good thing. That is their fault. How on earth does feminism, all you put all yourself in all your own problem? Thinking all you don't need men. But men know that as union is a unit that helps create a family and thus allowing people to be able to pay off the buildings. If you have more than one person paying off a mortgage, it helps. It pays it faster to people in the family, to a family paying off this stuff. Hopefully, I guess they'll have tax incentives for family members, just like America has when you have youths.
It's quite difficult for I would say, a single income household to perhaps access a mortgage.
But tell us, stay at a mother home. You can't stay at your mother home. And don't get me wrong, guys, I understand the whole sentiment. I know some people talking about some nurses. I remember some nurses were speaking about the same thing as well. I'm a nurse earning this amount of salary and I still cannot buy a house on my own. They still wouldn't allow me to have a house. So I understand this sentiment. Yes, get your stuff. Don't get me wrong, guys. I'm just talking about the family unit. As a result of maybe a set of women who have one house while other family units don't have. I think the family should get the houses first. Being able to pay it off. The possibility of paying it off is much better than one person paying it off. Do you think so? Maybe it's me that wrong. What are your thoughts, guys? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below.
Right? And so that aspect is one, for example, that would definitely be somewhat, I would say, addressed as it relates to young persons being able to afford homes.
But if it's a feminist by herself, that's not creating generational wealth. Because she by herself. And if she has a child that's creating single mother homes, which is not always conducive, they're not the best out. Most likely 73 to 78% of all single parents homes, single mother homes end with delinquent children. So if you have a situation where people are by themselves in houses and they have children, what do you think is going to happen? The same thing is, it's very evident to see what is happening in New York. It's very evident. I mean, I know it sounds hard, it sounds harsh, but it's true.
Additionally, I mean, being completely honest as well, with regard to the mortgages that are available at the 6% rate, it's quite unaffordable for many young professionals as well. Even having worked 15, 20 years, they're still not able to afford a home.
So that is to tell you, 15, 20 years, they're still not able to. So what make you think now that jobs are not available, that things are going to be different for them to be able to pay the house because you're saying, okay, they can take it. They can give them, they give them the loan for the housing. They still won't be able to pay it. Why? Guys, logic is important when it comes down to communication and things that people say,
The Future Housing Program is an opportunity to afford a home at a lower interest rate. And
so it's lower interest, but it's still high. Even if you have to pay 0% on $250,000, how long will it take you to make $250,000 if your income per year is about $25,000? 10 years? So that means you're not going to use no money out of the money that you're making to pay it off in 10 years.
As well, to have...
And that is on 0%, Mark you.
This, I would say, this collateral that allows them to pass on wealth through many generations.
So that's going to be debt. Debt. Collateral. What? They have this collateral. Maybe I do hear that properly.
Right? And as well, to have this, I would say, lower interest rates. And as well, to have this, I would say, this collateral that allows them to pass on wealth through many generations.
That would be debt. I did hear it properly.
Generational wealth.
Indeed.
All right.
That is not generational wealth. You can pass on the building, true. But generational wealth comes with substance, not just having a house. So you say the generational wealth that you think would be the house that people can then pass on through their generation. That is not wealth.
Ms. McDougall, thank you. We'll see you later for the first.
Anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts in this regard, man. I know I went too long on this. That's probably like 40 minutes or something going. I don't know. Whoop, whoop. But guys, let me know your thoughts in this regard. Let me know your thoughts in the comment box below as well, guys. And of course, I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. It's interesting that she's saying, I agree with some of the stuff that she's saying. Some of the things is very questionable. The guy said, I don't know what kind of question he was asking, but he did ask like 1-2 airy questions, so to speak. But we have to ask ourselves questions, not just people telling us things. Just because you see people on TV and you see they have mic and thing. No. Ask ourselves questions. What sense does it make? If you are able to do things online and you get paid in US dollars, then sure, you are able to get US dollars, more money for you. If you're getting 2,000 US dollars per month on a thing, that's about $5,000. You are then able to, you know, say, okay, I'm able to do this. It's two of all you are working online, getting US dollars or euros, whatever it is, and you are getting that level of money, and two of all you come together, you know, marry or whatever, and stay in a house and everything like that. You can elevate us, sure. You can be able to pay that house in probably 15, 20 years, no problem, fine. And as a result of that, you have that money flowing in, just creating a bigger thing that you can probably invest more in doing different things. So I think that is where it lies. But guys, let me know your thoughts, man. I talked too long already. Let me know your thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. And I'll see you guys in the next reaction video. Boom, bam. Let me get my lunch. Guys, I suspect I won't be able to do the second one. Not today. I won't be able to do it that long already. I don't want to crash all you. But let me know, guys, if you want me to be doing 2 videos. Maybe tomorrow I'll do 2 of them right there. So, yeah. I'll see you guys next reaction video. Boom, bam.